Lost Books of Rome. Every so often someone will stumble across a dusty old book in the attic or basement of their home. With bated breath, they take it down from the shelf, wipe off the decades of dust, and open it up to see what secrets it holds. Sometimes these books contain family histories written by hand generations ago, filled with tales of love, loss, triumph, and tragedy. Imagine how many such personal histories were written in ancient Rome. Sadly, like most things from that era, very few remain. Most have been lost to time. Welcome back to Shadows of History. Ancient Rome was full of knowledge, ideas, and stories, yet much of it is gone forever. Today we explore the lost books of Rome, texts that vanished, leaving gaps we'll never fill. Ancient Rome was 8 times more densely populated than modern New York. It was a melting pot of cultures and home to some of the greatest minds in the ancient world. Much like today, people went about their daily lives, chasing their dreams and recording their histories. The difference is that we have very little access to those histories. One example of a lost book from ancient Rome is De Architectura, a 10-volume encyclopedia written by Vitruvius during the 1st century BC. This work was considered the standard manual for Roman architecture until the Renaissance. It contained everything from instructions on how to build a house to military engineering projects and urban planning. Unfortunately, only a few fragments of this important work survived, leaving us with more questions than answers about Roman architecture and engineering. Another example of a lost book is the Annals of Impubis Licinius, a history of Rome written by a Roman senator and consul. The first 3 books covered the period from the founding of the city until the year 279 BC. However, the original work is lost, and our only access to it comes from a 15th century manuscript that contains an abridgment of the first 3 books made by a later Roman historian. We don't know how accurately this version reflects the original text, which means that the Annals of Impubis Licinius remains a frustratingly incomplete resource for anyone wanting to learn about early Roman history. The lost books of Rome are not just limited to history and architecture. Philosophy, poetry, and even medicine were all fair game for Roman authors. One example is the 34 surviving letters of Pliny the Younger, which provide a fascinating glimpse into the daily life of a Roman aristocrat. But what happened to the other hundreds of letters he wrote? Or take the epic poem The Argonautica, which told the story of Jason and the Argonauts. Written by the Roman poet Valerius Flaccus in the 1st century AD, this poem was considered one of the classics of Latin literature. But unfortunately, only a few fragments survive, leaving us with little idea of what the full poem looked like. So why do we have so few books from ancient Rome? The answer is simple. Paper was expensive and rare. Most Romans were poor and couldn't afford to buy or even own a book. Instead, they would rent scrolls or tablets from wealthy patrons who had them made of papyrus or parchment. This meant that if a book was not popular or was considered controversial, it could easily be destroyed or simply lost. And since there was no copyright law in ancient Rome, anyone could copy and distribute a book without the author's permission. This led to a lot of misinformation and made it difficult for an author to make money from their work. Another reason is that ancient Rome was frequently destroyed by fire, war, and earthquakes. The Great Library of Rome, which was housed in the Temple of Bellona, burned down in 180 AD. It's estimated that around 120,000 volumes were lost in the fire, which represented a significant loss of knowledge and culture. It's amazing to think that so much of ancient Rome has been lost forever. But what has survived gives us a glimpse into one of the most fascinating periods in history. What are your thoughts on the lost books of Rome? Let us know in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.